guys, I just wanted to go over this problem number 5 from the notes again one more time, because I think there's a couple different ways to do it. And when Josh showed his use of logs yesterday, I don't really agree with what he did. So I'm going to go back and say that the first thing that I would look for is a GCF when there's a binomial problem. So I could take out a 2x, and I would have, or sorry, e to the x, I would have a 2x minus 1 left, and that's greater than or equal to 0. One way I can look at this is I can look at this as an inequality with two pieces. I can think about e to the x greater than or equal to 0, or I can think about 2x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. And this isn't going to work for every case, but for some cases it is. This right here, I'm looking at a number times a number, and it has to be greater than 0, which means it has to be a positive value. Well, the only way that I can get a positive value is if I have a positive times a positive, or I have a negative times a negative. This value right here, e to the x, the range of this function is always greater than or equal to 0. Always. E to the x is always greater than or equal to 0, which means that all of the values here, not equal to 0, but it's always greater than 0, all of these values are positive values. So this term has to be a positive term. The only way that this whole expression, again, can be greater than 0 is if this term is also positive. So that means that x has to be greater than or equal to 1/2. Now, that's only going to work because this was an exponential function, and exponential functions are positive values. If this was a negative value, if I had e to the x times the 2x minus 1, and this was less than 0, this term again is positive. If this term is positive, this term has to be negative in order to get this whole expression, this whole equation here, to be less than 0, because less than 0 is negative numbers, and a positive times a negative is what gives me a negative value. So it's easy to think about when it's a positive expression. And then I solved it, and I used the number line to do it. So there's 3 ways. There's one, I would just say, like, can you do a positive times a positive? Does that work? Does that eliminate something based on what they've given you? 2 is solving the inequality and using the number line. Okay? And then 3 is possibly using logs if the problem does involve logs. But I need you to understand something about this equation. So if we take 2 times x times e to the x, and we set that equal to e to the x, because we bring the e to the x over to the other side. First of all, a couple of things you want to do. If you can't see what you can eliminate right away, and you use logs, then you have to make sure you do it right. If you're going to take the log of this term, the natural log, and the natural log of this, then you also have to take the natural log of that, and you also have to take the natural log of that. If you're going to take the natural log of one of the terms, you have to take the natural log of both of the terms. So I would be taking the natural log of 2. I would be adding it to the natural log of x, and this is where I think Josh kind of skipped some steps in here, and the math worked out, but it wasn't 100% mathematically correct. This would be plus x times the natural log of e. This is a power. A power goes in the front, and that would be equal to, again, power goes in front times the natural log of e. Again, a couple ways to think about this. You have the natural log of e and the natural log of e times x on each side. So if I subtract that, they're going to cancel each other out. Or the natural log of e is 1 and the natural log of e is 1, and if you move x over, you are still left with nothing. However, you are left with nothing, which means you're left with 0. You can't just have an empty space on that equation. So I still have the natural log of 2 plus the natural log of x. Now I'm trying to get x by itself. So what I would do here, again, you have a couple of options. You can rewrite this as the natural log of 2x, and that's equal to 0. And you can put this into exponential form. E to the 0 equals 2 times x. E to the 0 is 1. And then 1/2 would equal x. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to move the natural log of 2 to the other side. So this would be negative natural log of 2. And then this negative in the front really represents an exponent. So this is the natural log of 2 equals the natural log of 2 to the negative 1 power. If you have the natural log on each side, what you're basically saying are the exponents have to be equal to each other. And if the exponents are equal to each other, then the arguments have to be equal to each other. Some people just say, oh, you dropped the logs. Well, if the exponents are equal to each other, natural log, then the arguments, the bases are equal because they're both e, then these arguments have to be equal to each other. It goes along the same lines of like if we have common bases, then the exponents have to be equal to each other. If the bases are equal, the exponents have to be equal. It's the same idea here. Well, 2 to the negative 1 is actually x equals 1/2. So we have to be careful in how we're doing our math and terms that we decide that we want to get rid of. It actually 100% mathematically has to make enough sense. Now, again, the last thing, if I go back here, 2 times e to the x equals e to the x. Again, if I divide both sides by e to the x, anything divided by itself is 1. So x is equal to 1/2. All right. So just a couple of different ways to think of, I think there's like 3 different ways, but then a lot of different ways on how you're going to solve this problem here. But 3 things I'm thinking about. Can I maybe just eliminate some stuff and think a little bit easier about it? If I know that this is for sure always positive, just another way to think about it. So I hope that helps.